FOMO. Reorganize. We got anybody in here? You guys hear me? FOMO, how's the volume? Can you actually hear me? All right. Let me just get reorganized. Let's see, it's not showing me all of the comments. Thanks, FOMO. I appreciate it. Sometimes when this, I think, there we go. No. What is going on? Sometimes my own picture actually. Hold on one second, guys. I'm trying to figure out. I have a situation where not all the comments are going to be available, so I'm gonna have to stop this and then restart it because. I'm using a Surface Pro, so there are times where it'll block the comments. Because all I do is respond to comments, so I don't want to not be able to see them. All right, that makes it a little better. See? All right. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead. I can see if I miss some of your comments, just tell me that way, because right now, the way it's formatting here, I can only see some of the comments. Hold on. All right. What's up, guys? Thank you for those of you that joined me after FOMO's channel. Special thank you to FOMO for having me on. It is awesome that he has me on, and special thanks to Be the Installer. And tonight was the first night I was able to get on with Tech with KG, who was awesome too. Love his content. Real positive guy. We got 26 people in here. Duck, what is up? Benny, what is up? Don't hassle the Hoff. What is up? Tony, what is up? The home renovations are awful. It's actually not a renovation. It was a flood. So that's why you see me in all these random rooms of my house. But thank you for asking. Johnny Papa, what's up? Chin Tupa, what's up? Those of you that want to see a cat, just jumped over there. Who'll probably unplug my equipment. I think he just did too. Son of a gun. Lee, what's going on? I've not seen Lee in a minute. Hope you're doing well. Am I looking fuzzy? Am I fuzzy? I thought I was at least 1080p. Scott, what's going on? Inside the Horseshoe, what's going on? Chosen One, how are you? Neil, how are you? Justin, what's going on? Woody, what is up? Brandon Lee, what's going on? You guys are starting to populate. I will tell you guys that anytime anybody watches me, I don't care if it's one person. Hi, Tim. What's up? Welcome. Hey, Sky. Yeah. Our cat is, I think, looking to eat. So can you help out, please, love? I'm not drinking vodka. I got a little beer. And I'm not drunk. I'm a rather large person.
Where is he?
The cat's over there, sweetheart. So it takes a lot more than that. But I am a little more animated than I show on YouTube. So I like to use these live streams to get to know you guys more. It's a little hard when you're doing videos and you're just talking to yourself. Let's see. Thanks, Ken. I try to remain positive. I did get a little rambunctious in the last live stream, but I do like when, FOMO has me on. That's what he does want to hear, what we think all as different creators. So, it's really more about just saying what you feel. And I, for one, don't like to be toxic at all, especially in my free time. Steven, Fox, what's going on? Full HD, how are you? Geo, what's going on? How is everybody doing? How you guys doing? I talked to FOMO the other day, and something I want to talk to you guys a little bit about tonight is, I know many of you are looking to purchase your first displays or TVs, and it's an extremely, really hard time to buy now. It's simply, hi, Gio, what's going on? Christopher Charles, what's up, mate? How you doing? You working? Yeah, I'm trying to get Brass on. I talk to Brass every day. So if you can put some pressure on him, I'd love to do. Him and I want to do some stuff together, no doubt. It's just hard to buy for you guys now. I know for me, with the panel I'm looking to buy, my CX was defective from last year. Many of you guys saw that. Stand up because I'm a little too. Many of you guys saw that I had a defective CX, and I have a hard time myself choosing what to buy. So I can only imagine how hard it is for you guys. I change my mind every day. I think the C1 is great. It's very similar to the CX, but I'm also looking to go back to LED maybe. I do miss those specular highlights. I do miss that. So get this camera a little bit more on me. No, it's not changing. And, to duck what you said, yeah, it's very difficult when they don't have the TVs up, and Samsung Q90A, not every one of them have DSC because I've QC'd them at Value Electronics. There are clean ones out there. It's just hard to find them. I am, Neil. I'm familiar with them. Whisper, when you get a chance, what would you choose? 85Q N90A or 77-inch OLED, CX or 80J? I would tell you, Gio, if I could guarantee that I would get a clean panel at that size from Samsung, I'd probably go with the QN90A. Again, it's just hard with Samsung with their it's just they have such large numbers. It's very difficult to find a clean panel. I've went through a lot of drama with them, so I don't have one of their panels now, but I still recommend them. I do like their panels. It's just very hard to find a clean panel. Dana White, real thoughts when you saw the QN900A at 85 inches, pros and cons. Pros, very, very bright panel. Aesthetically, Dana, gorgeous. I mean, probably the best looking TV off. Cons is when I first saw it, I saw more blooming than I would like. It did calm down a bit once it was calibrated and also once it took some updates. But when I saw the Q900A, it was out of the box and it wasn't even available to the public yet. So it's really hard with these panels because they do take updates and they do change picture quality drastically. Look at the X90J. It's completely different. 1 a.m. here in London, just chilling and catching up, listening to some. Thanks, Chris. Hope all's well with you and the family, my friend. Yeah, I know the UK has been crazy lockdown. Let's see. Yeah, Ken, I mean, the 75-inch 900 TS, I was shocked that it dropped in price the way it did. It was just very expensive, being that it was their flagship other than the 950 TS. And from what I understand, the reason they dropped is they just weren't going to be able to move them. So you really benefited with a flagship panel. And, I'll say this to all you guys when it comes to when you buy something, if you like it, shut everything else out. I mean, because there are a lot of people out there that will nitpick things that you have just because they don't have them. They just like to, cause people pain. That's what stops me on this platform a lot of times is I get tired of the toxicity, and I just be happy with what you have. If you're happy with your panel, don't let anybody change your minds. Steel Dragon for life. What's going on? Is it Steel Dragon? Oh, Stealth Dragon. Samsung QN90A or QN900A for the 2P1. It's tough because the QN990A is a better value. The QN900A is more future-proof. Overall picture quality, they're very, very close. I would grab the QN900A if you have the money. JMac, do you think the 85-inch Z9J would be okay for movies in a dark room? And a lot of what we talked about in that live stream, yes, LEDs are fine for a dark room. Obviously OLEDs excel, but you'll see when we compare the Z9J to the QN90A or Q90A that they're going to be fine. It's going to be great. Those specular highlights, when you get into that 2000 nit range, you definitely can see a difference. And OLEDs, while OLEDs look three-dimensional, when you get into very, very bright content, they don't pop the same way when it comes to specular highlights sometimes. You're welcome. Full HD, people are afraid of burn-in. Is it really safer to go LCD? Because I am guessing that, there's no fear of burn-in for LEDs, obviously. So I find OLED burn-in to be, it's a real thing, much like plasma, but much like plasma, things improved so well over the years. So I wouldn't be worried about it. But if you love to leave newscasts on for hours and hours, and you love to leave your TVs on when you go to sleep, then an LED would definitely be better. But if you're using it normally and not super, you can game. I game on mine every day, full HD, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But if you're really concerned and you can't enjoy it, then I wouldn't get it if it's going to bother you. If it's going to take you out of the moment, full HD, don't then. But I would. Cabes with the super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. They're not necessary. You don't have to do super chats. We appreciate them. It's very, very kind of you, but I really get on here just to kind of catch up with you guys, but it's very much appreciated. Cabes, his question is, I've had two, and if you have a question for me, if I miss it, it's not because it's not a super chat. So you have 65 people in here, so just resubmit it and I'll get to you. Cabes, I've had two 65 A90Js, both with red tint on the left side. I think I'm done. I wanted the ZH. Yeah, unfortunately, Cabes, they are Evo panels, whether they can say that or not. They do have this pink tint. FOMO had mentioned that, it's too much concentration on the red. And unfortunately for you, if you were seeing the tint on overall in, say, gray, light gray, or white, that'd be tolerable or off axis because it's uniform. And that's always been the problem with flashlighting and other issues with LEDs is if you have some blooming but it's only on one side, then yeah, I can totally see that you're frustrated with it. The Z8H you're going to see is a great panel. I'd give it a shot, especially if you're going to go up. If you're going up to 75 inches, leave OLED alone at 65 inches. Geo Torres, what's your main TV that I'm using now? I have an X90J and a CX at 55 inches because my basement, and I have a Sony 900E at 75. I am replacing the 900E with an 83-inch panel, and I'm also getting an 83-inch panel for the basement, maybe an 85. Okay, let me go back up. I just missed. Samsung Q90A, Russian YouTube channel shows the new 8K Sony, and it looks great. I'm sure it does. The 8K Sonys aren't out here yet, but you'll see the Z9J, when I have it to show you. David Weiland, how are you, David? What's going on, my friend? Hey, Brian, keep up the good videos. Thank you, brother. Thank you for always keeping it positive, and thank you, David, for all your positive comments. I really appreciate it. -1, what do you think of the Hisense UHE for gaming? I haven't personally seen it myself, so I can't comment other than, the problem with Hisense and even TCL sometimes, you might get some blur. So I can't tell you if it's great because I haven't seen it. I heard it's good, but I can't tell you beyond that. I'm sorry. Paulo, what's up, brother? How are you? You missed my chat. Haha, lots of chats already. I'm doing good, brother. Are you still locked down, Paulo? I hope everything is opening up for you. I would definitely stay safe, brother. I know things are locking back down. Stealth Dragon, crucial. Plan on purchasing on Black Friday or next year when TVs roll out. Will there be shortages? Yes, you will see massive shortages next year, whether that's the chip problems that you're seeing with refrigerators. As I mentioned in the last stream, if you were there, Stealth Dragon, if you're in the market and you want to really enjoy your display, I would just pull the trigger, man. Saving $300-400 here and there. Think about it this way. For all of you guys, if you buy something and your return window is still open, be it 15 days, 30 days, wherever you bought it will typically refund you the difference. So I would pull the trigger now. It's not even into really deep summer yet. I wouldn't wait till Black Friday. Get whatever you can get. Aquaman 01, is there a difference in picture quality in game mode between the LG OLED G1 and, that's been kind of the discussion with the A90J is, are you seeing a huge peak brightness difference outside of Vivid? And I don't think you're seeing a huge brightness difference between the two. I would definitely go G1 in terms of its feature set. But the A90J is brighter. There's no denying that. Is it brighter in every preset? That's a little bit of an issue. I would go G1. Because just for my own thing, I'm not even considering the A90J because of the features that it lacks. And I have the opportunity to get one. EHJ23, what do you think is the best LED out right now? The ZAH. The ZAH is probably my favorite LED that's out right now, just because it's kind of the most consistent. I'm not too worried about banding issues, but it's not the most, the most vibrant. It's vibrant, it's bright, and it's accurate. But I would say the Q90A is probably the most impressive. And the Q900A, how they look when you first see them. But the Z8H to me is the most reliable purchase. Sergio, have you seen the Q&A85A? Are they similar to? Sergio, I have seen it, and I'll tell you straight on, the black levels are nice, but off angle at all, and they do suffer. And I can tell you because I was doing a video and I was slightly below it, and you can see it. But straight on, they're pretty good. They're not as good as the Q190A. Nuno, how are you, my friend? In your experience, is it hard to find? Is it hard to find a clean OLED LG panel in 2021? Banding drives me nuts. Yeah, it is hard, actually. It's hard to find a clean panel for any of them. LG's panels, which they supply everybody with their panels, are having some issues. Banding, I will say, though, on OLEDs, panels do tend to, they tend to get better. Sounds ridiculous, but I had some pretty severe banding. Hold on a second. Look at my cat. Sky, you need to come get this cat. Sorry about that. When you come home and you have like groceries out, you jump on a live stream, and then you have cats jumping around. It is difficult to find a clean panel. I've had a hard time. My CX has gone back. My 77-inch because of screen uniformity issues. It's not the easiest thing, but mine was pretty bad, actually. But my TV was 77 inches. EHJ, thank you so much. Let's see. Cabes. Oh, Scott Dove. Do you say above 65-inch leave OLED alone? Absolutely not, my friend. I'm looking at 77. Well, now I'm looking at 83 now. So it's just, again, screen uniformity. and posterization, what I was talking about last year, sometimes get like this hexagon kind of image. It's the way the panels are, but I mean they are beautiful. They are gorgeous. Did I miss a? Okay, where am I? All right, here we go. I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch up to the comments. Where are we? Again, if I miss any of your comments, just because for some reason my screen. Oh, Neil. Oh, hi, Neil. How are you? Thanks, Benny. Nice to see you too. I think my girl Jennifer Gallo was in here. Jennifer, cooking and listening to Brian Priceless. Hi, Jen. How are you? Hope all is well in Canada, my friend. Please check out Jennifer Gallo's channel for amazing demos, content, movies. She's phenomenal. Johnny Papa, how many TVs do I own? Currently, I have 4 now. Typically, what I do is when I buy a new one, I'll donate the one I have. I'll be donating my 900E soon. Impeccable Living. Hi, how are you, my friend? All right, here we go. What kind of beer am I drinking? I'm drinking right now Bud Light, actually. It's just whatever was in the fridge that was running around today. Thank you. Do a phenomenal job. Thank you so much, EHJ23. Don't hassle. Holding out for the QNED 99 and 90 from... I am too. Robert and I both... Robert Zone, if you guys aren't familiar with Value Electronics, check them out. We both think that the QNED is going to be the sleeper hit. So I can't wait to see it. You'll see it here on the channel. Unfortunately, I haven't been doing much content between my career, family, and everything else, and then having to rebuild my home has been really, really hard to get there. So I apologize. I should be doing way more content, but I do this part-time. I mean, very, very part-time. And I hate that I can't respond more to you guys. That was really what I loved about the channel more than anything. It's just that life pulls you away. Glad to hear it, Paulo. Edwin Weber, thank you for joining the community and family. I really, really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy your time here. Again, normally I'm much more into the comments than I have been lately. You're welcome, Sergio. Earth G. Grias, I haven't had any issues with the sound of the X90J, but I haven't been using my Atmos system with the eARC because I haven't, my system's all packed away, but I've had no problems with it. Neil, how are you? Neil, thank you for the super chat. Very, very generous of you, my friend. Can you discuss the color volume differences between LCD and OLED? Is it true that LCD have better color volume due to pixel structure? Yeah, I mean, there's times where OLED, especially the CX or LG out of the box at times, doesn't have as saturated an image. Sony's look to me much better out of the box. Is the color volume noticeable? I would say, like when you're looking at a Samsung QLED, there are some instances in some demos you can see a little bit more, but I would think that while there is a higher color volume, the contrast ratio definitely balances that out. Is it noticeable to where I can't go back? No, because I went from really bright LEDs to OLEDs, and very rarely was I saying to myself, damn, I really wish there was more color. Thank you so much for the super chat, Neil. Kung Fu Kenny, I love that name. Do you think the 55-inch 8080J will follow the price history? I do not. I do not. I'll tell you guys why. It's the constraint and the shortages that we're seeing. You know, they don't have to lower prices, and they're not going to. They really are all about making money, and all companies are. They just don't have to. So the A80J dropped in price because of the competitive price of the C1. They released it and then they dropped. There were plans to drop again. There's plans to drop the A90J. There's plans to drop the Z9J when it first comes out after a month or two. Those plans have been canceled. So from what I understand, you're not going to see huge price drops. They don't have to. And if they don't have to, they're not looking to really hook us up. So it's, supply and demand, unfortunately. JD, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, it's awful. Returning anything is terrible, but when you get into the heavyweight division, returning big TVs, it's especially if you have to have a place come pick it up, Amazon and those. It's awful. I mean, they're gigantic too. JM, thoughts on the Q900 at 2700? It's unreal that it's that price. I think it's great. Grab it. Earthy, I'm going to get my daughter a cat. Is it okay to get a free kitten off Craigslist? Any tips of potty training them? No. I don't. I have no tips. My cat, you just saw my cat fly by me. We saved that cat in our backyard. I don't know about Craigslist though. I don't use that at all. But you know, any animal, love it as much as you can, and it'll be great. David, I've never had an OLED. Thinking about an A90J or C1. Currently have a Sony 850D LED, no local dimming. Probably tops out at. You'll be very happy, David. You know, I would say that the time where I don't recommend OLEDs is if you're super in love with this super bright, punchy image, and then you go over to an OLED. It was very, very similar to LCDs back in the day when you went from an LCD to a plasma. Even though plasma, in theory, had better picture quality, sometimes it would be daunting, you know, or severe to go to that next tech. But coming from the from no local dimming, you'll be very, very happy, especially since, you know, the A80J is brighter than that. Tim Peters, thank you so much for the super chat. Again, they're not necessary. They're very, very generous. Thank you, Tim. And you don't need to do that to get a question answered, but thank you. You have the 65-inch C8 for 3 years. Great TV. Should the 77-inch upgrade be the A80J, C1, G1, or the Q90 and A for mostly SDR, sports, and cable? I only use 20%. That is a great question. To me, the C8, and I'll get killed for this. I had a B8. The C8 I thought was as good as they got. I thought the C8 was great. The C8 was very bright. It was very punchy out of the box. I think if you were to go with the A80J, LC, the C1, G1, I think you'd see an upgrade in size. I think if you were going from a 65-inch C8 to any of those panels, I would say don't, because I think that you won't see an upgrade at all. I think that the ABL wasn't as aggressive back then. They were very vibrant. I thought my CX was dim compared to my B8. So I would say no, unless you really need the size, and the size will be an enormous upgrade. In the Q&A90A, I think for SDR, sports and cable, you'll be very happy with it. I just can't. It's just hard to at that size, 75 inches. Q&A90A is a great choice, but screen uniformity, just look out for that. Make sure you get it from a very reputable place. But if you like OLEDs, as long as you're going up in size, you should be fine. Nuno, is this OLED? Again, thank you so much, Tim. Is the OLED banding? Where am I now? Take a quick sip. I know these are actually boring for you guys to live stream, so all I do is read comments. Yeah, Benny, the G1, I mean, I think the problem, Benny, with the G1 was I think many people were expecting those A90J effects, and it really hasn't been that. And I think it's still great. For me, the reason I'm going to 83 is I just really want that immersion, and I'll go with the C1. But the G1, I think, is going to be great at that size. Joni La. Hello, Brian. Thanks for the content on the channel. I bought the CX a couple of months ago and recently noticed 2 dead pixels on screen. The problem with dead pixels, if you're noticing them, then unfortunately dead pixels becomes common. I hate to say it's common. I don't deal with it. I think if it's in your view, if you can see it on all content, I would contact LG. And a couple of months ago, they'll typically they'll typically replace one panel. So I would get it replaced. I think dead pixels make me crazy. I game a lot, and a lot of that is white content, and I can see it. And I don't think dead pixels necessarily multiply, but I would get it replaced if you can. I'm going totally backwards. Okay, where am I? Again, if I miss you, So real quick, Tech with KG. You saw Tech with KG on the live stream with me and FOMO. Mad love for him. Very, very positive guy, and I think we have to help out anybody positive. Very nice guy, nice personality, knows his stuff, big gamer. It was a blast today, Tech with KG. Please, I can't link him here because I'm not doing it, but check out his channel. His channel's growing. He does very good content. And his content, unlike mine, which is straight Blair Witch with the cameras and everything, his content is super clean. So please check him out. It was a blast talking with him tonight. Let's see. Would I ever get... You're welcome, David. If I ever got to 1 million subscribers on YouTube, would you quit your day job? Yeah, I definitely would. I'll never get there. I'll tell you. I'll tell you guys why. When I first started doing YouTube, toxicity sells. And I just don't have any desire to do that. And I just don't. I have a family. I have a career. I do this because it's like hanging out with you guys. It's like I do miss the camaraderie of all of our childhoods and talking tech. And I remember back in the day playing video games, hanging out. So that's why I do this. When I was having all my defective panels, it was very lonely. So hanging out with you guys is why I do this. If it grows, it grows, but it's never going to grow like it does on everybody else's channel. I just can't do that amount of content. I just don't have the time. So, and it's just, I don't know. It's like any social media, it's all consuming. And I'll do a video on it, what it's like to be a smaller YouTuber. It can pull you apart, and it takes time away from your family, and it's tough watching it go up and down, and the toxic stuff really knocks me away from it because I want to respond to toxicity. But I'm grateful to have you guys, and I wish I could spend more time with you guys because I would. I do these every Saturday. And totally lost you guys. J to the M, what's up, my man? How are you? The Spears and Munsell disc is on YouTube demos here and there, but I would get the disc. Sum 8, what's my audio setup? I have a Denon X6700H, the new 11-channel one. I'm waiting for the new box, and I run like older BMWs, an 11.2 setup. Dana White, what's your favorite TV of all time? It is the Pioneer Kiro Elite. Plasma is probably my favorite of all time. EAJ23, what is the gaming features that pulled you more towards the LG than the Sony? Samsung for 77-inch, or pricing is far with, there's no 77-inch Samsungs. There'll be 75, 82, or 85. The gaming features, honestly, it's more HDMI 2.1. Just inputs is the big difference. The pixel response, it's an OLED, but it just has more flexibility in the settings for gaming. And I just like the variable refresh. It's just they have gaming in mind. I do really like Sony's approach, but I just feel like Sony or LG is just better at it. 4K 120 on games like Black Ops and Halo, Master Chief, it's just so smooth, and that's why I would go for it. But you can game easily on Sony as well. They have excellent game modes. Jay Sino, thank you so much for the super chat. Very generous. Again, not necessary, but it is really much appreciated. Hey, Brian, thanks for the advice on the C1. I'm the 60T guy. Would you do the 2-year Geek Squad or 5-year? Oh, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the family. Thanks, Jay. I wouldn't, Jay. Honestly, it's kind of a rule of thumb with, I think, TVs is typically they fail within the first year, and LG will cover you. The manufacturer will cover you for the first year. So I mean, Jay, you want to keep doing super chats. You got some money, I guess, but I wouldn't do it, honestly. I mean, burn-in, guys, if you vary your content, meaning don't just watch the same thing over and over again, you'll be absolutely fine. So I think I would save the money and, put it towards a receiver or something. But again, welcome to the community. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much. We are, more of a family in the community. Anybody who's part of the crew will tell you that. Let's see. Am I behind you? Wow, I'm way behind. Thank you, Jay. Ernesto, are you looking forward to any games that have been announced so far this summer? I am. I'm happy with. It's hard to say because I think the consoles have been a little bit disappointing as far as exclusives. I'm enjoying Ratchet and Clank. Right now, both consoles kind of feel like PCs. You know, I'm happy with the updates, but right now the big game I'm looking forward to is actually Battlefield, which is going to be in the fall. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with what's out now. Some 8. Does image quality differ with different size screens? Jesus, I'm having a hard time reading. Different sizes, screen sizes. Yes. I mean, resolution can look a little soft as with pixel density. As the displays get larger, they can look a little bit soft. So 4K, I would say 85 is the limit. And when displays are smaller, the image will appear cleaner, which is why monitors look totally clean at 1080p. Which is why 1080p got very, very soft as it got larger. 1080p at 65 inches to me was too soft. The Last Pharaoh 67. Hey, Brian, hope the flooding issue gets resolved soon. Enjoy all your content. Thanks, buddy. Hoping for more. Yep, I'll be here. Just got the U8G and took your advice, which was great, and I actually enjoy the TV. Stop looking at reviews. I can't say that enough. And the reason why I'm being honest is I'm telling you not to watch me. It's not anything in particular. It's just that even the best TVs, I'll use the A90J as an example, to me, which I think is the best TV this year so far, is right away everybody was amped that it was here. And then there were some issues with 4K 120. There's some issues. Now, there are legit issues with all these panels. I believe eARC will be sorted out. They'll fix that. The problem is when everyone gets in the comments and you want, again, that affirmation, it gets painful because you might hear something that, whether it's motion or whatever, things you might not have seen, and now you're frantically trying to figure it out. And again, that's the social media part of YouTube. So you like a panel. If you like it, it's kind of hard to know how you're going to feel. If you like it, you're happy, unplug for a while and just watch, because a lot of times when we spend a lot of money, we want to know, and sometimes we're proud of what we buy, right? We want to know, I got the best graphics card. I have this, I have that. It just backfires a lot. Okay. I have 4 dead pixels, but haven't noticed them at all. I do have a warranty with Best Buy, and would they come and replace the panel? In theory, they would. I'm not sure. Usually they do it without question, but there might be something in there. I know Samsung's dead pixel is like 11, 12. It has to be in the middle of the screen for them to really change it. Scott, will Value Electronics QC? Yes, they will. For me with Value Electronics, they are going to QC whatever it is that I buy. I didn't do that with the CX, so they will QC it, we'll film it, and you guys will be part of that process. So whenever I get a new panel, right now we are looking at the Z9J, the QNEDs, the C1 and 83. So whatever I get, you guys will see it calibrated. I'll film it, and you're going to see hopefully next week or the week after, we're going to have the C1 or the G1, I think the C1 at 83 versus the A90J at 83. They'll both be calibrated, and we'll see that with Jonathan, the calibrator from Value Electronics. So we'll do that together. Duck, what's up? J Mac, what's going on? And, thank you for the super chat. That's very, very nice, CS. Want to get an LG CX, but worry about burn-in. I have videos on that, and a lot of burn-in is, again, thank you for the super chat. It's really more about that content. And I'll tell you how I do it, guys, and I know it might be too much work. And I think if you have anything nice, if you ever have anything that's high-end, whether it's putting the right gas in something. With me, with OLEDs, when I game for a long period of time, I very simply have a demo collection in YouTube that's full screen. Whenever I'm cleaning up my area, I go right to that area. I go on YouTube, hit the demo. I let them run 5 minutes. That's all it needs for the pixels to reset, refresh. and then you're good. I've had no issues, and I'll be doing a burn-in test, and I'll show you what the results are. I've had no issues. I've been gaming very hard on it. Again, thank you so much for the super chat. Very nice of you. Aquaman, there are issues on screen frame issues on every panel. It's just they're more noticeable on that size. And it sounds ridiculous. It is common sense, but I didn't notice banding much on OLEDs until I was sitting in front of a 77 is, I'm 6'3". You can see my arms. That's how wide it is. And yeah, it's evident, but it's just that it's just more space. There's more real estate, especially if you game. You can notice them, and also I think shipping panels that size is challenging. FOMO, thank you for the super chat. Say FOMO is the man. Really, really, really generous of them. And I say, about FOMO too, as a friend and on YouTube, it can be very, very cutthroat, even among creators. And, FOMO's channel blew up. And the fact that he's reaching out to channels that are my size, I'm one of the smallest of the entire group. And the fact that he reaches out and wanted to have me on, I'm very, very touched. I'm honored that he had me on. And the fact that I can't make it all the time, he can easily have any of the other guys on. They're all awesome, but he still circles back to grab me. And I think that's just very, very nice of him. And I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much, FOMO. Vamps TV, what's up? Thank you so much for the super chat. Very, very nice of you. Again, I appreciate it. That's really nice of you. I hope all is well, my friend. Okay, let me catch up. Did I miss Vamps? Did you have a comment, Vamps? Vamps, if you have a comment please put it back, because I saw somebody say congratulations to you. Oh, here we go. Vamps, I got an A90J 83-inch incoming Tuesday. Wow, nice. Awesome, man. Let me know how you like it. And guys, I mentioned this in the other live stream. It's like people are forgetting that 77-inch OLEDs were almost rare. You saw them in a store, you're like, wow. Now 83-inch are out. It is a big deal to have an OLED that. And what's funny is with their bezel, they do seem like they're floating. So I can't wait to hear what you think about it, man. Please follow up. Let me know what you think about it. How do I feel about the Battlefield trailer? I cannot wait. I'll tell you right now that I was a huge Halo guy, Call of Duty guy, and then I just got so tired of Call of Duty. I went to Battlefield, loved Battlefield, really liked Titanfall. To me, then when Call of Duty copied Titanfall, went with the jetpacks, that kind of set everything back. Now we're back to this boots on the ground, and then all the panels became the games all became this boots on the ground World War II stuff, and I didn't love that. So the fact that Call of Duty is going back to that, and I like the destructibility of Battlefield, and I love the immersion of Battlefield versus COD, which is just this arena. I'm not a big Fortnite guy, so I'm really excited for Battlefield. Very excited for it. I don't care about the campaign either. IRL HCR repairs are happening, my friend. It's little by little. Very hard to find workers now. Spillage Village, any word, and if Value Electronics will be able to procure any. Right now, they're trying very hard. They're not really getting anywhere, even though all those panels that they got sold out immediately. They're not getting them yet, but they're still trying. So we'll see. They were very, very impressive. But as you saw, they were last year's model, or the year before, I should say. I think they were 2019 models, but they were absolutely gorgeous. But the problem with that, too, guys, is if there was an issue with that Panasonic, Value Electronics has you covered, but it's going to be hard to get a replacement. So there's always a little bit of a chance. You can hear my family coming home in the background, so sorry about that. Yeah, Royal Boyle, I know. No single-player campaign, I know, man. But here's the thing. I'll say this, Royal Boyle. The Battlefield campaigns were always okay, but I remember when Titanfall didn't have a campaign. I loved their second campaign, but when Battlefield 5 tried doing a campaign, their multiplayer, and then this Fortnite Royal Battle, it just divided things too much, and the game wasn't complete. So honestly, I'd rather have them just focus on multiplayer and just keep playing it. Chicken poop, what's up? No, the X95 is not available for purchase yet in the States. It's actually been pushed back to August. Let's see. My wife, that was Janice from Friends. Oh my God. I don't know what that means. Justin, what do I think about Panasonic getting out of the OLED TV? Yeah, it's upsetting, but from what I understand is what Panasonic makes in terms of their other products, TVs aren't profitable for them. And it kind of reminds me of, it's not a great analogy, but it reminds me of like a Mercedes being an F1 or being, it's kind of a vanity thing, but they don't really make any money racing. So they just kind of do it. But at some point they just are like, we're not making any money from it. They make like tractors. So they make a lot of other parts, other different subsidiaries. They don't need to. So, but yeah, I think it sucks. McDaniel, what is up? Hi, buddy. Much love from myself and my wife. Oh, thank you so much, man. McDaniel, do you still have the 930E? Is it still the 930E? Did you bought something else, McDaniel? Follow up. I remember. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's so kind of you, brother. Tell your wife I said hello and tell her that I'm sorry if watching me makes you want to get more TVs. Oh, you got the CX too. Because I remember the 930E that you really didn't know what to get at the time. I'm so glad that and how are you liking them? You know, Edwin, I wouldn't say that they failed in OLED. I think it's lack of interest. I mean, it was really hard for them with plasma. They put out some of the best TVs ever made. And unfortunately here in the States, they didn't sell well. And I don't know why why they're getting out of it. I don't think it's something that they make a lot of money on. QNEDs will be, the QNEDs will be out at the end of June. They should be out soon. You'll see them at Value Electronics as well. I'll try to get one home. But I will tell you that what I am excited about is the Nano Cell at 8K. Their one version of it was beautiful. It was the first QNED, first Nano Cell I actually liked. So I'm hoping that they'll do something similar with the QNED. Awesome, McDaniel. CMS, thank you so much for the super chat. Really, really nice of you. That is really, really nice. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for watching. Nathan Whittemore, thank you as well for the super chat. Again, not necessary, guys. I'll definitely still respond and answer your questions, but it's much appreciated. Have you played Ratchet and Clank yet? I did. I got it at launch. You'll see the next video you'll see on the X90J will be a game settings video for Ratchet and Clank as well as Guilty Gear. I picked that up as well. It's absolutely gorgeous. Ratchet and Clank, awesome. Brady White, the LG G1 in person. I have not seen the 77-inch yet. I'll see it next week. From what I understand, it's impressive, but it's so close to the C1. But pricing wise, I think they're beautiful. I mean, I think the panels are gorgeous. But I'll let you know when I see it, and I'll film it. Johnny Papa, is mini LED really going to be better than OLED? Nope. I don't think it's going to be. I think, for me, I like mini LED, but I think I don't notice it being much different than regular LED in terms of its blooming control, its light control. I think they're very similar. I think mini LED lets the display be thinner or more streamlined, which I don't personally care about. Yeah, Scott, there was some serious burn-in back in the day. Neil, what is your favorite sport To watch, I was a huge boxing fan. It was my favorite sport to watch. That has changed since boxing pretty much has died. I do like combat sports. I am a football fan. I'm a Giant fan. And I played basketball, but probably fighting and then football. Woodler Henry, hi Brian. I just wanted to say thank you again. I went to Best Buy and picked up the last open box A80J for $17.90, but I feel a little buyer's remorse because to see it brand new at Costco for $18.99. Oh wow, okay. Make sure though, Woodler, I'm not sure. Make sure it's the same panel. That's the problem with well, but it's that's tough. Make sure it's the same panel. Costco at times, as we mentioned on the live stream with FOMO, that the X91 is not the same as the new X90J. So I would, as long as you have a clean panel, you save a little bit of money, man. Hang on to it if it's clean. If it's clean. But I'm glad you're loving it. I know, Neil. It is a bummer. Yes, Caves, they are. I mean, they do have, they're all Evo panels. Vasta Horde, when will TCL be releasing their new? I don't know. They're interesting. Between them, Vizio, and Hisense, they kind of just hang back and they just throw things in. I've not heard a lot about their new panels. And that's the problem with those two is you'll see a Hisense, the dual cell Hisense. I'll show you that from Value Electronics, but it's really hard with those other panels because I can't get my hands on them unless I'll find out when you find out. But I mean, they're probably behind too, so I would think probably in the fall. Enigmatic One, I bought the 65-inch CX on your recommendation. I hope you like it. If I recommend it to you, hope you're enjoying it. Oh, wow. If you love boxing, you probably love our own Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, Manny was the man. I wish he wouldn't fight anymore, though. I love him. I just don't want to see him fight anymore. And the fact that he's still able to compete at this age shows you how bad boxing's doing. Johnny Papa, what did I think of Godzilla versus Kong? Interesting that you asked. I actually filmed a review on it, and I erased it. I was underwhelmed, and I'll say this before I get into it. I am I write, I draw, I'm an artist. So I really appreciate dialogue and story. And while that movie had spectacle, I just thought that having to unplug my brain that much is hard. So those movies are always without story. I've been a Godzilla fan since I was a kid. But in Mechagodzilla, I didn't like the way that was designed. I thought it was okay. It was good looking, but I didn't love it, to be honest. And when you're talking about story and monster movies, you sound a little bit ridiculous, so I stopped. I just didn't even do the review. McDaniel, thanks, buddy. Take care, my friend. Tell your wife I said hello as well. Theodore, so the LG C8 still competes with today's OLEDs. I was thinking about upgrading. I wouldn't. I mean, honestly, the only way that the C8 lacks in comparison to the new panels is upscaling, probably because it's got an older processor. But as far as picture quality, aside from processing, I like the C8 and the B8 better because they were more saturated and they had more vibrancy. To me, that could be also that I think they're more efficient panels to avoid burn-in. The C8 doesn't have that. So if you're going to go up in size, I would upgrade, but if you're going to stay at the same size, Theodore, I can't recommend upgrading, my friend. CMS didn't include my question on KG's last video. He showed inward retention on the A80J. There's been some flopping on the streams on the C1. Hold on, I just lost that. CMS did include my question on KG's last video. He showed the image retention on the A80J. There's been some flopping on the streams on the C1 versus A80J, not B, LOL. When I asked, what is your opinion? What's my opinion as far as image retention, CMS, or my opinion on both panels? Both panels, from what I've seen, it's a tough call. I'm not going to flip-flop on you, is out of the box, I saw the A80J. It blew away the C1 out of the box. But Sony is so known for its accuracy. I thought the A80J was the A90J initially, and the C1 that it was behind or next to had the plastic on it and was right out of the box. So when you calibrate them, they're very, very close. I think the A80J is a little punchier in some ways, but as far as the retention, image retention, the C1 has image retention too. My CX does. When like when I reset the Windows, the Xbox Series X, as soon as the Xbox thing hits, that'll retain for a few seconds. So it's not something I would be concerned about. I personally would still go with the C1, but again, I'm more of a gamer. And I do think that the LG OLEDs are fantastic for movies as well. I don't think it's such a clear one or the other, but I would favor the C1 myself. But I thought the A80J much nicer out of the box. That also doesn't mean that you need a calibration either. It's something you can easily do yourself. Oh, you're fine. You can do whatever you want. IRL, HDR, love boxing too. It's definitely not what it used to be, but I still watching. I like Canelo too. I just, the problem I have with Canelo is that he's fought some of my favorite fighters well after their prime. And just the way boxing is. But he fights everybody. Just he fights them a few years after their prime. CMS, my pleasure, my friend. Ra Awen. God, I cannot read these. I have been using the Z8H since last year. I love it, especially in my naturally bright room. Love the HDR impact. I almost ordered the Q, but maybe, I wouldn't. You're not going to see an upgrade. I mean, the Q900A, I like it a lot. Their images are different. You have one that favors shadow detail. So I would stay with the Z8H. I wouldn't. It's not an upgrade. Though I like the Q900A. That's okay. She can make noise. They know I have a family. So my poor wife right now is, my daughter made slime while I was on the live stream. And now, I don't know. Can I show that?
Huh?
Check this out. So my youngest daughter, who's 10, while I was on the live stream and my battery died, made slime. So no salads in that bowl.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, my wife wasn't here. So and then this whole thing died while I was on the live stream, by the way, which is always great. Wow, I fell behind again. Again, if I miss your comments, guys, you don't need to super chat me. Just resubmit them. EHJ, what's my biggest worry about the 83-inch OLED panels this year? At that size, it's always going to be screen uniformity. The pink tinge doesn't bother me as long as it's uniformed. It's unfortunate that it's there, but that's what screen uniformity at that size would bother me. But again, this is the dicey thing about us as YouTube personalities, whatever the heck we are. I don't get anywhere near as caught up in if they're good or not the way I used to. So I know I can replace mine. So with Value Electronics, can you plug my light back in? When I got my CX, I was furious that it looked the way it did. Honey.
Yeah, it is good.
Okay, can you click the remote thing for me? Thank you. When I got my CX, I was furious because I did not want to return it to Value Electronics because we're friends. But they assured me, and also, look, I sent it back, and them trying to find me a good panel took 3 months. And then even then, by the time they found me a good panel, I was already on to the next ones. So my pleasure, Ra Awan. I'll respond if I can. Again, for those of you that are part of the family, I'm sorry I'm not as in the comments. So, I'm usually more active. No. So is the OLED banning issue a tech issue or a manufacturing problem? I would say it's a manufacturing. Well, the banning issue is a manufacturing problem, from what I can gather. The pink issue is a technology problem. It's the Evo panel that's a problem. You're on camera, so my daughter did it on purpose. Yeah, Theodore, I mean, watch whoever you get value from, my friend. Paulo, take care, my friend. Thanks for popping in, brother. CMS, enjoy. My boy's gonna grill. We got almost an hour in already. I'll probably do about another half an hour, guys. Let's see. David, if gaming exclusively on a PS5, no plans to ever get a PC or Xbox Series X, would you still recommend? No, I would. Then the A90J I would recommend, because you're only using one HDMI 2.1 port, and there is a lot of talk of how Sony does incorporate a form of variable refresh rate with the PS5. So I would go ahead and do at that point, David, I would go with whatever picture quality you prefer, and that might be the A80J, but I would recommend solely the C1 if you're gaming on the PS5 alone. Jim, absolutely. If you're obsessing over screen panel uniformity, if you can't see it in real content, don't sweat it. The problem is when you're gaming in real content and you're panning in third person or first person, you will see it every time. If you're watching movies, chances are you're not going to see it all the time. Neil, I don't comment on other channels like that. It's just going to get me into like a YouTube thing, so I don't comment. On channels I don't watch, I don't comment on. Brent plays Madden. Brent is a friend, basically a family member. If you like Madden, check out my boy Brent. You'll see him in the chat. He does a lot of live streams. His channel grew really fast. He has a few thousand subs. Much love to Brent, and very close to his family. Basically family at this point. What's up, Brent? Don't hassle the Hoff. Will we still be playing the panel lottery with LEDs? Yes, you will. It's just the nature of it. And again, manufacturing, they're rushing panels. Neil, and I wasn't ducking that question about asking if I follow that channel. Basically, if there's a channel I recommend, you'll hear me recommend it. But if I don't talk about other channels or have any interest in any kind of YouTube feuds. So I don't criticize anybody else either, but if I recommend them, I'll shout them out. Sony Richards LG C1 or Sony 950H 75 inches. I go C1 all day. The size and the overall picture quality to me is better. If you do need one for a bright room, the 950H would be a better choice, but barely. I mean, the C1 is a better panel and it's bigger. Awan, is the A90J, are they both? Yes. From what we hear, they are both Evo panels, especially at that size, from what I'm understanding. The last Pharaoh. I know you mentioned you want to go back to LED over OLEDs. When do you think OLEDs will have the same brightness? Unfortunately, LED's brightness has been limited, and I'll give Joey from Modern Wise, he had a channel too. You guys will see his, I forget Modern Wise, we get together. He had a great channel. I hope he comes back to YouTube. He had alluded that the panels are limited because of like California's energy regulations. So they can't get brighter, but I don't think you'll ever see OLEDs get as bright as LEDs, but LEDs aren't getting as bright as they used to. So they're always going to go with the, they're really going to always go with the contrast ratio as a strength, but hopefully LEDs kind of, you'll never see them as bright. Right. They'll melt. You're welcome, Sonny. Justin Bergman's, Brian, with so much love for OLEDs, is it even fair to include LEDs in a TV shootout? It's a great question, Justin. I would say this is why it's not fair. When you calibrate them all the same, you're kind of making an LED look like an OLED, and it's never going to win doing that. I think they should let LEDs just run wild and be as bright as they need to be. So right now, I don't think it's fair, but we'll see how the Z9J does. You're going to see the shootout. Not the one we'll be doing at Value. They'll do an official shootout. You'll see AK all 4K panels fight. You'll see all the 8K panels fight, and then we'll bring them together. So we'll see how they do. I'd love to see an OLED or an LED make a comeback. Just J Games, do we get a new TV to get Dolby Vision gaming? Nope, I wouldn't. I'm playing Dolby Vision games. They're not native. I'm playing them now. It's cool, but it looks like HDIG to me, so I would not get a new panel for that, Jay. You start seeing 12-bit panels, and you start seeing, you start seeing more native Dolby Vision games, maybe, but I think you'd be very happy with regular HDR as far as gaming. Mr. Orange, OLED is so superior to LED. That is your opinion, my friend. I do agree that it is a better technology, but I mean, I like LED still. And I love plasma too, but they have their strength. All of them have their strengths. Scott, do you think the X95 will be competitive with the Q90A? Yes, it will be. It's going to be 600 or 700 nits brighter than the 950H from last year. So I think it'll be very competitive with it. I can predict the X95J this year will be very similar to last year's Z8H. Just my thoughts. Vamps, Brian, do you have any recommendations to do with the 83-inch A90J for testing uniformity? It's my first big TV, mainly used 55-inch before. Well, Vamps, I'm going to tell you that the biggest thing you're going to see, the size difference is going to blow you away. I mean, that is a huge difference in size. What I would do is right out of the box, just start rocking content. Start watching your favorite demos. Start watching. Don't go crazy testing the panel initially. Just kind of watch it and enjoy it. See if anything jumps out at you. And then after that, if you do see some issues, you can do these OLED gray slides. They go from, white to black to white. A lot of times you'll see banding in 5% gray. The reason why I don't tell people to do that immediately is every OLED will have some banding in 5%, and people see that and they fixate on it. So what I want you to do, honestly, is unbox it, rock some content, enjoy it for a little while, and if any banding shows up, then go in and start looking for it. Because if you don't notice it, it's not really there in terms of, don't get too nuts. You can get really fixated on it, and you might not see it in content.
Sorry.
Yeah, Jim, TCL has been very, very quiet on that. With Theodore, yes, the A80J has come in, much like the A8H. The problem with the A8H, not having HDMI 2.1 and not having a 77-inch model, kind of screwed it up with having the A9G behind it. But I think it's a good choice. The A80J, to me, is going to be, right now, it's probably the best-selling OLED. For as long as it's been out. The C1's been out longer. Miguel Brito, thank you so much for the super chat. Again, very generous of you. Purchased an LG G1 77-inch. Love it for gaming with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, but I'm having an issue with my Bose Sound Touch. No sound option. On the Bose, or have you enabled, I'm not familiar with the Sound Touch. There's a lot of sound options. Plug it into the eARC. And there's a ton of sound options in the LG. Hit me up in one of my newer videos, and I'll walk you through it in a comment. I don't have it next to me. But there's a lot to enable as far as Atmos, and there's AI sound. So go through those, but it's probably in those settings if it's the panel. Hope you're liking the G1, by the way. Most underrated. Oh, Miguel, through optical. Okay, I've not used optical on the G. I don't have the G1 right now. I'll check into it for you though. I'll figure that out for you. Neil, do you know if the electronics, they are having it this year? It'll be at the end of September. They're already looking for a location. It might have to be later because these panels aren't coming out, but right now it's looking at the end of September, early October. You guys are fighting in the comments about OLED versus LED. Let's see. The most underrated 2021 TV so far, in your honest opinion. Underrated? It's hard. A lot of them have been rated pretty high as far as what people think of them. As far as what's the most underrated, probably the Hisense, but the Hisense is getting a lot of love. I'd have to go with the Hisense, maybe. I mean, the other ones, I think the X90J is underrated because people hate it so much. I like the panel. So to me, it would be the X90J be the best underrated panel. The Hisense isn't underrated, it's praised. So I go with the X90J. Edwin, oh yeah, the Vizio. I'm glad you're liking it. The ABL, you know, the ABL, a lot of motion issues is the kind of thing that is tough because you might be more sensitive to it than others. Got 93 people in here. Oh my God, that's great for me, actually. Thank you so much. Dana White, how and when did you become Valiotronics first link up? We became friends. I did a video right after I met them. I'd heard about them. Very, very nice people. There's very few stores like that. Introduced myself, went in and I bought some products, and they just watched the channel and they liked the positive vibe, and just kind of built it from there. We become very close. They're very, very nice people, very genuine people. But it's, you know, finding genuine people on this platform, and, you know, people are going to watch you and see how you act, and they respect that, and I respect them. And, you know, I'm a fan of Robert and his knowledge, and his wife Wendy's awesome. It's just a really, really nice family. I'm not there enough, and I respect that they're busy people and they have a business, and I don't want to be there interrupting that. Wayfair, what's going on, my friend? Is there any downside to running pixel refresh on the CX? Yes and no. I mean, it runs its own after the first few hundred hours, then it does another one. I would say you can run it a few times if you're seeing some banding, but think of pixel refresh as like an etch-a-sketch and like a resurfacing. So you don't want to, they are organic. You don't want to overuse it. Just do it if you feel it's necessary, but there is a downside to doing it. You know, they do have a finite life, so I wouldn't do it constantly. Mike Boone, thank you so much for the super chat. Again, very, very kind of you. I really, really appreciate it. Let me know if you have a question or anything, my friend. Awesome, Mr. Orange. Yeah, let me know what you think of it when you install it, buddy. Theo, my favorite panel right now is the A90. If we're talking about this year, it's the A90J. If it's, you know, a real panel, my favorite panel so far, but it was last year's and this year's, is the ZX from LG, but it's $30,000. So, Jay Frank, X90J looks good. It is really nice. I mean, it's getting murdered. People in my comments are constantly, I hate it, I hate it. I'm like, and no one has told me they dislike the X90J actually have it. And right on point, Capona, forgive me, but I don't recommend the X90J. The TV looks cheap, and, you know, I understand you say I'm a really good person, Capona, and I appreciate you being on the channel. I appreciate you being in the community. But here's my challenge. You know, let's just break down your comment here. And we should do this, so we do it together in the comments. But my question to you, Capone, is if you've owned the X90J, if you have the X90J, then that's fine. And you have to say, forgive me, you're saying I don't recommend the X90J. The TV just looks cheap. The build quality does look cheap. I've mentioned that. and my 900F should not look better. Now, I'd argue that it doesn't look better, the X900F. So this is where things get dicey. You're comparing it to the X900F from a generation ago that doesn't do great Dolby Vision. So I understand you don't like the X90J, but going into other people's comments and telling them that you don't like it when they tell you they have it, it's not necessary. I like the panel. It's a mid-range. And to be honest, it's not the successor to the X900F. The 950H, the 950G were the successor to the 900F. So it's actually a level below that. So keep that in mind. And I know you don't like the panel, but going into other people's comments and telling them that you don't like it, it's not necessary. I am honest. You can disagree with me all you want. I wouldn't tell you to get it if I didn't like it. I have it. I like it. But to go on and on about it isn't necessary unless you hate the panel. But tell me if you've seen it and enjoyed it yourself, or if you're just echoing what you've heard out there, my friend. And I'm just being real with you. I mean, I just want to be able to say that to you. I don't think it's necessary to go into every video and tell every person that wants it that you hate it. And you respect my subscribers. Hopefully you're a subscriber too, Capona, but they're doing research. That's why they're on the channel and they're in videos, but unless you have the panel to go on and on about what you hate about it, if you've never seen it or spent time with it, it's a little hard. It's a little hard. I know, Mr. Orange. I miss Panasonic, man. If there's one thing that I was very brand loyal to, Mr. Orange, it was Panasonic, man. I love their products. Greg, how are you? Thanks, buddy. I know it's hard when you're streaming with 4 people. Obviously, I have a lot to say. I'll stream by myself. I tend to jump over people. I don't mean to do that. Thanks. Don't hassle the Hoff. Take care, brother. All right, guys, we're gonna go for another 10 minutes. And Capone, I don't mean to single you out. I mean, if you're a part of the community, that's what we're talking about, man. We got to do it. I just want you to think about. There's no reason to go into other people's comments. You want to tell them to, make a formed decision. That's what we're all doing. But don't tell them, don't. It's crap. And there are plenty of people that have the TV and they enjoy it. So. Oh, Theodore, yeah, that's a good question. The 77-inch A9G and Sony A80J are currently the same price. Which would you choose? Without hesitation, Theodore, I got to go with the A80J. The Master Series is its sound, its build quality. It's basically, it's almost calibrated out of the box. It's so attractive, Theodore, but it's getting older at this point. And the A80J's processor, the cognitive processor, is a big jump. There's just nothing better about the A9G that way. I would go with the A80J, especially at the same price. Take care, Justin. Let's see, where are we? Me too, Theo. Terry, what's going on? I mean, Dark Man, what's happening? He's got the TCL 8 series from a couple of years ago. Jags, I would say they're very similar. I mean, I don't think you're going to see a huge jump with either one. I think if you like the is the brightness better on the G1? No, not really. I would say you'd be very happy with it, Jags. Don't even hesitate. Unless you need more HDMI, the brightness of the G1, or I'm sorry, the A90J is also, it's brighter and more vivid modes, but you'll be happy with either one. Don't listen to that. Exactly, Jay Frank. EHJ, what's the best and worst OLED TV you have ever seen? I haven't really ever seen a bad OLED TV. To me, the OLEDs are actually boring to me in the sense that they look very similar. I even thought the Vizio OLED looks really nice. So to me, they're very similar. So I don't know how to answer that as far as what's the worst one I've ever seen. Review the tube. What's up, Mike? How are you, my man? I promise we'll grab that drink in the city when it actually reopens. Check out Review the Tube. That's my boy. We'll meet up at Value Electronics one day. And also, Mr. Orange, you remember that Pioneer Elite, just that body, just the way it said Elite at the bottom. One of my buddies actually has the Elite LED. I think it was a Panasonic, but it looks like a plasma, but it's actually an LED. Dana, go on my channel. You can see the A90J go against the ZX in a comparison. Jim, does anybody care that the DTS is missing? I don't think it's a big deal because if you want DTS, just go through your 4K Blu-ray player and you'll get it that way. If anyone still uses those. Capona, the 900H was much dimmer, but you want to keep talking about it, go ahead. I have the TV. I think it's very, very nice. Theodore, I have no recent movie recommendations. I have not liked anything new movie-wise, to be honest. And Capone, I find the X90J to be bright. So, again, it's in front of me. I don't care what else you've read or heard. I do like the panel. It's not about stop bringing it up, Capona. You want to keep talking about the same thing. We disagree. You don't like the X90J. I do like the X90J. It's much brighter than the 900H. It has a higher contrast ratio. And you keep saying that it's this or it's that. I don't know why you want to argue. There's no reason to. I like the panel. You don't like it. That's the end of the discussion. My issue with you bringing it up is you constantly are dunking on people that like the panel, and I don't think that's necessary. Again, you have it. If you have it and dislike it, it's just going into everybody's comments and telling them how much you hate it when you don't own it. That is a problem for me. I don't see why you dislike it so much. I have the panel. I like it very much. But I'm not comparing it to a flagship either. It's not what it is. Neil, my opinion on what my next TV is completely up in the air. I'm gaming on a 55-inch CX and a 65-inch the X90. I'm open. So if the LG QNEDs come out and they knock it out the park, then that might be my pick. I talked to Robert on the phone the other day, and sky's the limit. Whatever I like, that'll be what I pick. And look, guys, I'm not a fan. That's what I'm going to say to you guys. I'm a fan of technology. I'm a fan of home theater. I am not a fan of companies per se. So whether I like the Sony or whatever, it's because I had a great Sony or a great Samsung, doesn't matter to me. They'll win my business every time if they're great. So I'm always open to new technology. As much as I like OLED, I don't blindly follow OLED. As much as I enjoy OLED, I do miss 2,000 nits of peak brightness. I do miss some things. So you'll never hear me just blindly go that way. Last generation, this console was great. This generation, that console was great. Do you follow me? So I'm never going to be a fan to the point where I can't see. How many beers? That's quite a few, actually, tonight.
I wouldn't know.
My wife's pouring me
I
another
wasn't
beer.
here.
I was a fan of Panasonic, though. Yeah, back in the day, but that was before I got on here. Capona. All right. Capona, I'm going to tell you this, my man. I know you guys, I'm going to read Capona's thing here. I know you guys like the 900 model. Again, I'll say this to you. The 900H was not the you guys, those of you that love the 900E, I have one on the wall. I love the TV too. Its successors went like this. 900E, 900F, 950G, 950H. 900H was basically the 800 series upgraded. They added another line. The X90 is not the successor to the 900 series. If you don't like the X90J, then you must have hated the 900H. As far as them looking cheap, I'll tell you this: they all look cheap, except for the highest end Samsung and the OLEDs. A lot of the LEDs have looked cheap. The KS9000 was all steel. And those things looked better back then. But I appreciate the discussion, Capona. I'd rather have it with you here live than just in every comment about the TV. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Jay Frank, Samsung, I mean, honestly, the amount of TVs they sell, they just don't care. They will not pay that licensing fee for Dolby Vision. And to be honest, you talk to anybody in retail, Samsung is it's just synonymous now. It's just they walk in, Samsung, this, and they go right to it. And I can't blame them because they are so beautiful and bright in store. But I'm sure they don't want to pay, especially for them how many TVs they put out. They want to pay that licensing. Thank you, Capone. I appreciate it. And I don't mean to come at you, my friend. I honestly don't. It's just, enough is enough in regards to that. If you don't like the X90J, just don't watch content on it, my friend. But don't let that bother you. Why does that bother you? I don't understand. But I appreciate you want to have a discussion. That's what we do. But it's just not my thing to have comments be like that over and over. You be honest, cool, but just let people enjoy their TVs. That's why my channel is never going to grow, is because I'm a bouncer in my own comments. Benny, hit that. Go play that, my friend. You're going to love it. Thanks, Capone. I appreciate it, my friend. And Capone, the fact that you're responding to me the way you're responding, much love. That's where we are. I appreciate that you're not getting toxic and just going nuts. That's what YouTube's all about. So I like you too, bro. And that's why we have a discussion. That's all good, man. Thank you. I appreciate you hanging out and having the discussion. Even in these comments, I appreciate you having that discussion. I really do. Mr. Orange, you've been in installation that long, man. You were doing CRTs. I love the Trinitrons and those. They probably weighed up 300 pounds. I'll say, Mr. Orange, though, installing those CRTs must have been easy. You're like, boom, boom, there you go. You weren't hanging those on a wall. All right, guys, we're at about an hour and a half. If you have any last-minute questions or anything you want to say, let me know. If you like it, my friend. I mean, the Vizio. I don't love Vizio's approach as a manufacturer. I just wish they were better with their quality control. Really is what I get most concerned about with them. And I honestly think that the Vizio was poised to just dominate after the P series. They did the Quantum XP series. I thought they were ready just to take over, and they just kind of, sputtered out. Yeah, the EHJ, the ZH, I do like the panel a lot. User interface, I have an X90J and I love it. I don't care. And again, I'm not picking on Capona. It's just that when things get a bad rap, whether it's in videos or in written reviews, it just gets echoed. And I appreciate that because it's it just gets in people's mind, and then they just can't repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And I enjoy the TV a lot. Thanks, Theo. Capona, Whisperstatus, do you play the Xbox Series X more or PS5? Great question, my friend. I actually use the Xbox Series X more because I use it for multiplayer. But then as soon as and they do update older titles more than the PS5. I wish PS5 would do that more with Horizon Zero Dawn. Days Gone and Ghost of Tsushima look phenomenal. So I would say right now the Series X is the one I use the most. However, as soon as Ratchet and Clank came out, I went over to that. Oh, Mr. Orange, tell me your age. Go ahead. I'll tell you mine. The Z9J will be the mid-July. David, I would wait, because here's the thing, David, if you're waiting to choose between current panels this year, there's no harm in waiting. It's when you want to buy last year's panel and you're waiting that it gets hard. So I would wait for the X95 to come out. Is 77-inch to 85 a big difference? Yes. Go from 77 to 8? Yes, it is. That is a huge jump in immersion factor. It is. 4K, it's a little hard. 4K I wouldn't go larger than 85 with the immersion factor. It's a huge jump. Just make sure you're a little farther away. Let's see. F or G Grias, my CM dims then gets bright again. I would hard reset it. See if that helps, my friend. Unplug it, hard reset it. See if that helps. I got you, Mike. Yep. Yeah, the Series X is awesome. Your dad started the company in 1978. Mr. Orange, that's not giving me your age. If you told me you started the company in 1978, that would we be talking. How old are you, my friend? Tempo, what's going on? Why so many problems with TVs no matter the price you pay? It's just, shouldn't we expect better? Absolutely. There shouldn't be any issues, but there are. It's just the way things are now, especially with electronics. I think a lot of electronics had issues, but you're seeing more issues with TVs because it's visible. It's something you see on screen. So as an example, like say with consoles, you hear a louder fan. You wouldn't really notice that. Yeah, it's a little bit louder. TVs, it's the only real appliance that's visual. Like my receiver didn't have good pass-through. They're not sending me another HDMI thing to make up for it. But for the most part, TVs, just because they're visually there. I wouldn't expect, you should expect better, but I wouldn't expect to see better. Mr. Orange, you're only 42. You made it sound like you were old, bro. I'm 46, so I'll be 47 in the fall. ABL does cause the picture to dim, but it shouldn't dim rapidly. I'm 46, Mr. Orange. I'll be 47. I'd say my wife's age, but she's looking at me right now. I wonder if I want to say her age, and I'm not about to, so because she's younger than me. Well, I don't know if she's younger.
No.
She's a little older. Samir, what's up, Samir? X90J or XN90A 50-inch? I like the X90A, XN90A. Always leave the N out. I think it's a higher end panel than the X90J. It's more expensive too, though. Kevin, what's going on? I do use my Oculus. I use it for fitness, actually. I don't use it to play games. I do it to my wife just walked by, and you can see her in the camera. I do use it for boxing. So I use it more for fitness, Kev. Because I'll just keep them out of it if I can. All right, look at that. Let's see. Terry, you're 62? IRL, when's your birthday, man? That's awesome, Mr. Orange, especially if you can, if you can do that with your, business passed down from your father. That's amazing. Please give him my best and that you're talking about him. Yeah, home automation is definitely taken, a hold. Value Electronics is a lot of that too now. November, I'm September. I like the new Q&A90J raw P. I do like that as far as it. Thanks, Capone. Take care, man. Thanks for hanging in there in the comments, even with our little spat. I appreciate it. Give me the day, IRL HCR. Give me the day. Theodore, yes, the price jump is huge. That's why I think they did a 83-inch versus 77. But again, Theodore, that's their Master Series line. They do keep that. They do keep that as their 1% kind of line, so they don't feel bad about that being more expensive. 27th IRL. Yeah, Neil, it would be great to have a store like Value Electronics, but I tell you, it's a lot of work. I mean, those guys work nonstop, and it's retail. The good thing about me hanging out with them is I can hang out with them. But as far as owning a store like that, it'd be very, very hard. I know Robert is a huge fan, so he really enjoys it. But yeah, it'd be awesome. All right, guys, we're going on 9:30. I am going to say goodbye now. Let's do I think if Sony had more HDMI, I would consider them if they had more HDMI 2.1 because EHJ, I have a PS5, I have a Series X, and I have a PC, and I need 3 ports. So, honey, you're in
Oh, sorry.
I have 3 HDMI ports. So, you're welcome, Superstar. I appreciate it. Superstar, you didn't say anything. I know you're watching, but Superstar, say what's up. Say something before you leave. So typically in the live streams, when I leave them, I don't just get off. I just say goodbye. So just on the way out, say goodbye. Jim, take care, my friend. You have a great evening too. David, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Superstar, thank you. Mr. Orange, take it easy. Tempo, thank you. You're just chilling, enjoying the stream. All right, man, get in those comments. Talk to me. What's my wife's favorite TV? My wife's favorite TV is...
No TV.
No TV. She watches these 12-inch iPads and our projector probably, but she isn't really a big TV. She'll watch, we had an 8K Samsung for a while. She watched that while she was working. Dana, take care, brother. Maxwell, take care. We got 70 people left. Review the tube. Yeah, I know. They have, it's an abusive relationship with LG at times. Chad, I like the Sony 900H. Amazing value, and hopefully it will have the updates for ERR. I hope you like it. I think it's a great value. I'm glad you pulled the trigger on it. Neil, take care. User interface, my pleasure, man. Thank you so much for watching. We have 68 left. We're going to go for another. See you, Capone, Byway Fair, Kung Fu Kenny. Take it easy, my friend. My pleasure, Edwin. Thank you for watching. Chad, take care, brother. Toby, what's going on? Does my wife have a New York City accent? She does not. She is not from New York. She is from Philadelphia. She's an Eagles fan, so it's been tough. The girls are supposed to be Eagles fan too. Mike, definitely. Take care, brother. IRL HCR. See you. We are down to 66. Another few minutes to say goodbye to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these. My pleasure, EHJ. I know my family gets annoyed, but yeah, we'll see you soon. Michael, I missed your super chat. I did not see a super chat, but thank you so much. Please tell me All right. Well, I'm going to pause everything for you, Michael. Tell me. You didn't have to do super chats, but if you were saying what's up, I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, you know what, Michael? Stay right there. I did miss your super chat. I have an 85-inch Q80T. It has some DSA. How much is too much? DSA is not all content, just playing racing games. All right, Michael, coming back down to you. I'm sorry I missed that, buddy. Thank you so much for putting that up there. It's tough. I hope you're still in here, Mike. Michael, say what's up if you're still in the chat. It's hard. DSC on LEDs doesn't go away. So if you're still in it's hard to think that you're going to get another cleaner one. I would say that it's common to have it. If you can hang in there, hang in there. But I would try to play as much content as you can where you can. I will tell you this, though, Michael, is that there's times where games, say they're checkerboard rendered from PS4 Pro, if the game isn't of high resolution, you take that and you mix that with the DSC, sometimes it'll create it and make it worse. So try other racing games and see if you see it, buddy. And thank you again for the super chat. Hopefully you stayed in it. Michael, just say cool so I know you got it, buddy. Chad, I don't know anything about mounts. You got to check out Vizio Installer for that, buddy. Thanks, Terry. Michael, I just answered that. Please tell me that you got my answer for that, buddy. Kung Fu Kenny. Come on, baby. You like the Eagles, bro? Michael, if you're still in there, I'll repeat it. DSC is tough. Try different games, other racing games, see if you notice it. Sometimes the way the games are rendered can show it more than others. If you don't see it in other games, I wouldn't worry about it. So hopefully just give me a thumbs up if you got my earlier response. What's YP? I don't know what that is. Michael, elaborate on your last comment, please. All right, guys, for the rest of you, you guys have a great night. Who else we got? I haven't, you know what, Griffin, I have not seen much on that game, honestly. I don't usually like movie-based video games, but I'm hopeful. You got it, Mike? So, Michael, did you get the response? Just want to make sure. But, Michael, like I said before, sometimes if it's one specific game, if it's a racing game, try running other racing games and see. It might be more evident depending on some of these games. Most of them aren't true 4K, so sometimes they'll show, other artifacts that might not be as visible. I know, for example, Resident Evil 7 had checkerboard rendering, and on my 900E, it looked like there was all kinds of jail bars. It was really more the rendering and the zones that created it. All right, guys, I am signing off. All right, Michael. Thanks again for the super chat. I appreciate it, buddy. Sorry that I missed it. Chad, take care. My pleasure, Jax. Thank you so much for being part of the community, buddy. Good luck with your panel. Let me know what you think about it. Follow up in a video. Chosen one. Much love, brother. All right. We'll do another 5 minutes to say goodbye to you guys. We got 54 left in the chat. Well, for almost 2 hours. That's not bad for an after party. 52 left. All right, guys, any last minute thoughts for any of you? I'm still here. You guys are signing out. All right, guys, thank you as always. I know these are more random live streams because I'm not really talking. I'm just reading your comments. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much again for the super chat. Will there be an upload after this stream ends? You'll see this video, Jimmy. This will be on. I don't know if it's much fun watching live streams after they're done if you're not involved in them, but yeah, it'll be up. You'll see, Edwin, you're going to see the Ratchet and Clank on the X90J next. And then you're going to see the C1 at 83 inches versus the A90J at Value Electronics. My family's going to be away. I'll be home, so I'll be covering much more and do much more content. You're welcome, Jimmy. Thank you for watching. And again, Jimmy, when it goes up, it might not go up right away, so you might be able to see it tomorrow. All right, guys, 45 left. Oh, Vamps. Hey, Brian. Vamps, I don't think you're going to notice it. I wouldn't go looking for it. The grid issue is, you'll be fine. I mean, you tell me. I don't want to tell you what to look for because I don't want you searching it out. It's common on all OLED panels, but just sit back and enjoy it. And then, Vamps, in any of the videos you see me in, ask that question when you get it, and I'll walk you through it. But I wouldn't go nuts looking for the problem, okay? Well, congratulations on your purchase, guys. Have a great night. Thank you so much. I hope all is well. We'll do another live stream probably the middle of next week. We'll do one like this. We'll get on earlier, and I'll talk to you guys. Love you guys. My pleasure, Vamp. Have a good night, guys. Take care.